this is Lyfe, and this is my 1 month update for my Kids Paperwhite edition. It's a 2023 model, 11th generation. So if you've seen the first impressions, you know what I went through, and this is just a follow-up to see if anything changed or not. So without further ado, let's get right to it. Starting with my experience so far, because in my last video I talked about only using it up to the percentage I had, which was like a 56% or something like that, I can't recall, but I did charge it fully. I only did up to 98% because the device was actually on power save mode by default, and my brother was telling me that if you put it at 100%, that's actually not good for the battery because the battery is made out of lithium or something like that. So I did that. One of the things I noticed off the bat that I actually had to look at my screenshots to make sure I wasn't hallucinating or just like imagining it was the two little icons that popped up, which was the highlight and bookmark. And it turns out that the Kindle did have an update I just wasn't aware of because it doesn't tell me. It does it automatically, and I can't actually manually turn off and off when I want to. I'm not sure if you can do that on the Amazon site, but as far as I know, the Kindle device itself doesn't let me do that. So looking at the screenshot pictures, it actually showed that they actually added the highlight icon and bookmark icon, because before you can only do the bookmarks, tap on the top right corner and then you can hit the bookmark, but you can only do that if you're in the book. You can't actually see how many you have done or not unless you were to physically tap it. Now that the icon is up there, you can see whether if you have some or none at all, which is great. The highlights icon also I like, because before it was a default to something else, but the fact that it has a dedicated icon itself really is quite useful because I can just tap and it's one less navigating around the system to get to it. I did say I was going to try the airplane mode to see if it gives me longer battery or not, but when I was doing it, I realized that when I created my collections and I wanted to create more or just move a book to a different section, you actually need to turn the Wi-Fi back on, which I found that so weird and annoying at the same time, because with other reading apps like Apple Books, you don't need the Wi-Fi to do that. You just do it, and then if the Wi-Fi is back on, it will sync it or something like that. The reason why it was happening is because of the Whisper Sync feature. When that is activated, you're able to sync up your Kindle device data to your Amazon account, which is basically the Kindle app on your phone or iPad. And it's good and all that, but I really don't care for it. And if you have that feature off, it actually won't let you export your highlights, I found out. So that was annoying, and I was literally freaking out because I thought that the automatic update was causing the problems. And then one night I was like researching and all that, and then looking into more things about the device to see what I missed. And then when I went to the Whisper Sync feature, it's like, oh okay, then everything went back to normal. So that is not okay with me. I wish they didn't do that, because I want to be able to create collections or move things around in the collections without forcing me to be on the Wi-Fi. Because what if the scenario is I'm on a road trip with family or friends and I just finished a book and I want to put it into the read collection? I can't do that if you're on the highway. I will have to basically stop at a coffee shop, get the Wi-Fi if it's even good, and be able to do that, which that's a hindrance and that should never happen. So because of that, I was borrowing books from the library and I was doing that constantly. I had to turn the airplane mode on and off, and when I turn it back on, it'll take a while for the Wi-Fi to show up on the device. So not so fun. I would like to say that for the PDF function, I didn't get to use it at all because I actually forgot. And I will actually use that feature in a 6-month update to make sure one, I actually use it and to see what it currently has, and also to see whether I will use it in the future or not. So back to what I was saying about the airplane mode, I didn't get to actually see how long the battery would last with it, but pretty much I got an overall month with it. The same as I doing with like the first impression of doing 56%, but I know that's not truly accurate because I was constantly turning on and off, on and off, on and off. So I want to try it again, but this time make sure I have all the library books or books I want, and then just be strict on don't turn it on unless I really need to, and then see how long the battery lasts for that duration. And thank you for all the comments I got for the previous video too. Someone did point out to turn off the Wi-Fi, that way the battery will last way longer. So thank you for that. So that's been my experience so far of just a month using it. I am back in school, but when I did the month notes, it's just been a while since I actually got the opportunity to film this video, so that's why everything is pretty far back as I'm filming right now. But that's how the experience went. As I was saying, back in school, when I did the month notes and all that, I wasn't using it as much as I wanted to, but school comes first, so hopefully in a 6-month update review, I'll have a more variety and I should be able to use it more by the time I finish the semester. Oh, I would like to mention that the airplane mode, I was curious to see if library books do last longer enough, but because I was going back and forth, I couldn't really decipher, so I will give you an update for the next video. There are a couple of things I wanted to mention, things that I've noted during the month. I think all of this is really due to being the newest update for the Kindle, and it could be just several bugs that they just didn't encounter. For the collection side of it, the Audible feature shows me nothing, but it still shows me like the free sample it came with. I can't get rid of that. Maybe I need to remove it manually on the computer instead. I haven't tried it yet, so maybe I'll try that for the next update and give you my feedback there. It did randomly freeze a couple of times. I'll say like less than 5 times. Could be in the firmware update, like I said. I just found it weird, but with devices, they're kind of fickle, and the way it's programmed, if they miss something, that usually happens, or maybe my device is defective, who knows. But good thing it's a 2-year warranty. One Prime book that I was borrowing, I was like reading it and I took a lot of notes because I actually want to do a book review of it. And one day I just deleted all my highlights, but I did find all of it into the what's it called? The clips notes. The problem I found with the clip collection is that even though it saves all your highlighted stuff, it saves like all the books you've done. So it's not just one, and there's no feature in it to where you can break it up. So if you're trying to find something particular from a certain book, you're going to be searching unless you remember exactly what it was and then hit the search button. So that's a hindrance. I haven't checked from this moment if the notes were saved the highlights, and I'm not sure it's because the highlights disappeared because I turned off the Whisper Sync feature. So I'll have to look into that again, but that'll be in the next update. You can't export annotations through email. You can only do it with the Amazon or export it through Goodreads, which Goodreads itself is another issue I discovered. I wish it would have been like Apple Books to where if you can export it, it could be through any email you want and not what they give you. The Kindle store I noticed was buffering more than usual, so probably it's because they're adding more books, and like I said, the firmware kind of did something to it, because I actually have a high-speed Wi-Fi because we switched cable network providers, or what's it called, before I even got the Kindle device, so it's always been pretty good. But I just noticed that it's been slower to show me books and searching and all that. A cool little hack that I discovered is that even though it only lets you do temperature scheduling, what you can do is, if you have on dark mode, what I like to do is put it on like 6 or 7, and then if I want to go to the normal mode, I just hit normal mode, and then it goes to whatever default setting was at. So if I were to have it at 3 and I switch to dark mode, when I turn off dark mode, it'll go back to 3. So that's a little way to save your battery life instead of constantly like changing back and forth. Whatever you have beforehand, just leave it as that, and then switch to dark mode or normal mode, and then if you want to switch, you can do that and keep it. So I thought that was pretty cool. I'm not sure if all the Kindle devices do that as well, but that's a little hack if you want to do that without having to turn off the adjustment light or warm temperature, and then go back to normal mode if you are not reading at night or you're just on somewhere outside like a picnic. The Libby books that I borrowed, I noticed that when I like return them early, the actual cover itself does not delete itself. I think someone mentioned about that it kind of just stays on until the book is fully expired, and then it does it. But from my experience, that hasn't happened. So I find that annoying because I have to remove it manually and then do it again if I have it into a collection. So that's a real hindrance. By the time I'm making this video, I actually recharged it a second time. So far it's only been 2 times I've charged the thing. So 2 months. So charge it once a month depending on how much I read. Not bad, but it's not truly accurate to see how many times I'll have to charge it, considering the factors of school getting in the way, and since I'm exploring more of the device, that does take more battery usage. I did try an audiobook with my new earbuds, and listening to the Bluetooth, it works fine and all that. I have tried the accessibility feature again, and basically it's giving me the same issues to where when you open the book, it goes to it, but if you were to stop it or move a page, then it just stops it. So I really wish they didn't do that, or at least they will fix it. But I think I mentioned in my previous video that I think they kind of do that way it forces people to buy the audiobook subscriptions, and if that's true, that's really yucky. For the Goodreads, I did link into my account, but I noticed that every time I finish a book, it lets you do a review for your Goodreads, but also it means it'll do a review to the Amazon store as well. And I don't like that. The reason I don't like that is because usually I just do a rating, and because this is my brother's account that I'm on, but the Goodreads is actually my personal account, it kind of conflicts. I don't know how well that works, and I don't really generally give reviews on Amazon unless it's my personal account for the Amazon. So I don't like that they do that. I wish it would just keep it separate. I can understand why they do that, because it just knocks 2 birds with a stone, you know that saying. Since Amazon owns Goodreads, it makes more sense for them to do it that way, but personally I don't like that. Also, the Goodreads for the Kindle, you can basically put want to read or put complete, but you can't actually change the reading update like to the page count or the percentage. You can only do that on the phone or iPad. So I wish they had more features to it for the Kindle, because it kind of defeats the purpose of having Goodreads on the Kindle device if you're just going to cut off majority of the features that it gives on the tablet or phone or even the computer. But the computer has like the most features, of course, so the Goodreads app itself does need to be improved. That's everything that I discovered for this month update. Like I said, I'll be doing a 6-month update review and maybe even a year to see if there's any like new changes to the firmware or the layout of the Kindle device, because as we know, or as I found out, that they're not making any new Kindle editions like the 12th. That's not happening this year, but who knows, maybe they'll do it for next year. I'm still enjoying my Kindle and I've been using it so much, but like I said, not as much as I usually do because of school, and that's typical. But overall, I am glad that there are some new changes to the Kindle, and there are some things that just need a little bit of work on. The whisper sync is my biggest issue because it kind of collects the data and then forces you to sync the devices, and that's the only way you can actually use the highlights and the collections. So don't like that. I wish they changed that, because for everyday use that shouldn't be an issue. Let me know down below if you like this update and if you notice anything different about your Kindle that I did not mention or haven't discovered yet. That'll be really helpful for me, but for everybody else that is looking to get a Kindle or has one. In the meantime, take care of yourselves, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.